Hey, good morning everyone. Hello, it's Cheryl from Tinker's Card Art, and I thought I would just pop in really quick with you this morning because I'm wiring some of my paintings, and I know a lot of you have had questions about how I wire them, and I know I've done this with my groups and my art memberships. We've done little tutorials on wiring your painting, but I thought I would come in now because I have two more little paintings to wire, and I thought you could join me and I'll show you how easy it is. So good morning and thanks for popping in. I'm going to turn the camera around so that you can see what I'm doing. I like to paint on the gallery wrapped canvases a lot. Now this wiring technique will work on any canvas that you have wired, but these are fun because I don't have to worry about framing them. So when I'm framing a canvas, it's a little bit of a different process, which I can jump on and show you at some point when I am actually framing a panel or a canvas into a frame. But when I'm painting on these, gallery wrapped, it's really nice because I paint the edge, or I bring the painting, I wrap the painting around the edge sometimes, and then I simply wire the back. So what I would usually do is I will always sign my painting, of course, on the front. On the back, I'll take a little Sharpie, a fine Sharpie, and I will write the title of the painting and my name on the back usually as well. I haven't done that to these yet, but let's just wire them up and I will show you what I'm talking about. So just don't mind the little upside down trick you're going to get here, but I do want to show you so that you can actually see what I'm doing. And I'll bring you up on the computer too so that I can see your comments or questions. If you have any questions at all, please just shout out there. And I'm going to get started. So I think you can see what I've got going on here. I have a little wiring kit that I like to use. I order it off of Amazon. I can put the link in the comments afterwards. Let me just straighten that out a little bit. So I just keep everything in a basket so everything is handy here for me. I use the little kit that you will order. It's great because it comes with everything you need. It comes with the little brackets, which you can see here. Comes with the screws that you will need to attach those. Also comes with these little, I love this and I don't even know what they're called, but usually when I used to wire my paintings by eye hooks and wire, and I'd buy all that at the hardware store, these little kits are so much better. You get these little tabs that you could put on the end of the wire and crimp them so that you don't have that bit of wire hanging out and poking you. I would generally have wrapped it and wrapped tape around it, which wasn't a real professional look, so I'm happy to have those little crimp pieces. So anyway, the little kits, like I said, come with the screws, the brackets, the little crimpers, and your wire. So it all comes in a little kit, not expensive at all. I think it's like $7 maybe. So how I go about doing this is I will just go to the back of my canvas, and you usually want to go, let's see, I go maybe about a quarter of a way down. You can measure if you want. I usually kind of eyeball it and then kind of go to an even amount. So say this is going to probably be at 3 inches, which I think is good. What I do is to get a little hole started there for me, I had a nice little awl that I would use to start it, which I can't put my fingers on right now, so I'm going to I have a nail in there, and I thought like 3 inches looks like it works. I'll go right in the middle here. I'm going to just make a little, just to start that screw in there so it'll be a little easier, and then I'll just measure on the other side and do the same. Now sometimes if I don't have a ruler, sometimes I'm actually wiring my my paintings in the back of the car if I'm at a plein air event, and what I'll do simply is I'll find a good spot and I'll use a screwdriver, my paintbrush, I'll measure it, and then I'll just measure on the other side. So you don't really have to have that, ruler, but it is kind of nice. So I've placed where I want my pieces. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I usually in my kit have a Phillips head screwdriver, and I simply put these little brackets in. Super simple. It's just pine on these braces, so that goes in pretty easy. And if you have any questions, let me know. I just thought it would be good to get this little tutorial recorded. That way, I know I've had a lot of questions, so this way I can just refer people to the little recording. So it's super simple. This is just a little canvas. I do the same thing for my big canvases. And let's just do this. And I'm going to try to watch you on my computer here in case anything comes up. Usually I can watch the camera, but I have it pointed at me here. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. I see everybody pop in and say hello and let me know where you're watching from. It's so nice to see you guys here this morning. And I'm also going to show you in a minute if you... these are my little paintings, and sometimes I will go ahead and put a backing on here first. It could be brown paper. It could be, I have this print here. I'll show you. If you really want to finish off your paintings nicely, you could put a backing on and then put your wiring on top. Sometimes I use brown papers. This is just a black paper if you want to finish it off. But if you just go ahead and lots of times I'll just wire it this way. Let my brackets in. I'm just using, you should probably use wire snippers. I use a scissor. The wire's not that hard to, cut. So I will weave on. You can see these little, the little crimpers, I'll call them crimpers. I weave that on. I just need a little bit to twist here. So I'm just going to put that there, and I'm going to twist the wire. And then I am going to, that's kind of long, you don't have to go quite so far. I'm going to put that little crimper right on the end of the two wires, where ordinarily that would be a little sharp sometimes if it wasn't attached there. So I just take that and I just crimp that on there. And that keeps that in place, and it keeps from little pieces of wire sticking out. And then I'll sort of just trim up the other end. But remember to put on your little crimper, because I have done it many times, taken it, twisted it, and forgotten. So what you really want to just weave that on there. Good. Again, this is a small painting, so I didn't really have to go quite so far. Actually, I think I will shorten that up and put that crimper down a little further. And I'll move that down, move this over. And again, I don't really need this big of a piece. Let me just twist it a little bit. And I'll trim that. I'll get this little crimper on top here. And then I just use a little pair of needle nose pliers to crimp, to squish that down together. It's not so hard that you can't. I just have a little pair of needle nose pliers here. Crimp that down. And there you have your wired painting. I'm going to do another one. I have two left. I have a show coming up, so I wanted to get these last two wired. So I will do that again. This is just a 12 by 12. It's a little bigger. These are both paintings I have in my art membership. So if you are interested in painting too, I have a couple of art memberships. One is one painting a month. One is 3 paintings a month. The 3 painting is the Cartist membership. And you paint with me live 1 or 2 times a month and get some recordings. The 1 painting a month is simply, you get an email with a painting every month. So this one's a little bigger, it's a 12 by 12. So I'm going to go down to about 4 inches there. Again, we're just going to repeat what we just did, just to get these 2 paintings wired. And I start, if you've just popped in, I start a little hole with the little nail or an awl. You could use whatever, just to make it a little easier when I'm having to put in these little screws. And the screws holding the brackets really work well because they're not moving. Sometimes if you had a little nail, you know, that would just kind of work its way out after a while. I used to use the eye hooks, and those stick out and then they can damage your wall. So I really like this little system. And like I said, it comes in a little kit from Amazon, and it will include all of the pieces, and I will share the link for that as well. So you're just going to screw in, and if you had a lot of paintings to do, I would just take out my little electric drill and zip those in. Actually it's battery operated, but this is not hard work, but it does give your paintings a nice finished look. And like I said, you can always go and cover the back with paper if you wish first, and then put your wiring on. So I've got my brackets here. I just have to put my wire through. Again, the wire comes in those little kits. It's just some picture hanging wire. And I'm just going to trim that so that I can get my little bracket, these little crimping brackets on there. So weave that through, and I kind of bend it a little bit here so that it's kind of makes a nice tight little, and I twist that wire around a little bit. And I'll get that in there lined up, get my little needle nose pliers and just crimp that well so it stays there. And we'll just do the other side, simple, but very professional looking. And like I said, on the back you can do what you'd like. I do with a little fine Sharpie or some little fine marker. Just again, don't forget to put your crimper on there before you twist. And I will usually sign the back as well and put the title. You can put the date if you wish. And that's a good way to finish off your paintings. Now I also put a little varnish on them too, which I think I need to varnish these, so maybe while we're on I'll varnish them as well. And this, you can always save this recording, come back to it later when you might be framing and have some questions. It's so simple, you guys. I used to make it more difficult myself because I just went to the hardware store and bought like eye hooks and wire and all that business. But I love these little crimpy, I don't know what they're called, but these little crimpers. And again, it just makes it neat. And if someone goes to hang your painting, they're not getting poked with that wire on the back. See, isn't that a nice professional look to the back of your paintings? So now, I don't believe this has a varnish. So you can use all sorts of this. There's all kinds of varnishes out there. Usually want to go with something with satin, maybe. You don't want a high gloss. You may want a high gloss on some paintings. But I go with just a satin. What I use is actually just Minwax Polycryl that I get at the hardware store. It's a water-based varnish, so the brush dries out easy. Cleanup is easy. But what I do is I actually pour it in one of these squeeze bottles just to make it easier to get at. So you could do that if you wanted. I use a sponge brush, and I just take a little bit, and I'm just going to make sure you can see what I'm doing here because I'm upside down here, I can't really see, so I have to keep refreshing my computer page. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, so the edges, I think the edges have been done on this already. It is shiny. So then I just put a nice coat of that varnish on. I have to tip it a lot. I want to make sure I've got everything. I don't have bubbles. I usually just go from one side to the other, working down, and then really just tipping it so I can see that there's no dull spots. Now, what I would recommend is taking your photos of your work, because I always photograph my work. Take the photos before you varnish. You don't want the sheen to cause a reflection. So what I will do when my painting is done, I'll take it outside into a shady area. And iPhones have fabulous cameras now. Just line that up and get a nice photo of your work. That way, if you want to make a print of it, or just to have it for, I'm just going to lay this flat to dry now. So get your pictures done first in case, I just like them to know what I painted, but I also will use that painting, that print, that photo to make prints, and you want a nice high quality photo for your prints. You don't want a low res photo, so make sure you get the photo the way you want it before you go ahead and varnish. The varnish will, like I said, give you a little sheen. And you wouldn't want that if you were making a print. So there, I just have a nice coat there. One coat's fine. When it's dry, I take it again. I will look at it at an angle to make sure I have every little bit covered. So there we are. That is not too bad. Let me see if I can move my camera down and back again. And I know it's like a roller coaster ride, you guys, but thank you for popping in. Hi, Christine. I can see who's watching now. Hello, you guys. And actually, whoa, I usually use that quart of varnish to hold my phone stand. So that's why you went for a little ride there. Sorry about that. Anyway, what I was going to say is about the prints. I have been ordering some prints. This is actually a print on canvas of my lunar moth painting. And I did show you, if you didn't see earlier, if you want, you can put the backing on here. But you want a nice photo before you varnish so that if you want to order prints, you can. So this is just a little print of one of my paintings. Actually, the original is 24 by 24. It's quite large. This is a little 12 by 12. So anyways, thank you guys for like I said, popping in and just seeing how simple it can be to wire your paintings. And I'm going to go into the comments and I will put the link to the little kit I find on Amazon. I order them pretty often. Comes with everything you need, and I think it's under $7, like I said. So thank you guys for popping in, and I will be, I'll be seeing you. I'm going to be on live tomorrow, I believe, painting. So if you would like, you could take a look on YouTube. I have a lot of painting videos there. I have a couple art memberships. If you have any questions, I'll put some information in the comments that you can find out more info. So thank you. Have a great day. I'll see you later.